Yo, what it do? What it do? It's me. It's that wrestling dude. I'm joined here by the redhead whose new career is Beach. Oh, Ginger Spice, what's going on, bro?
Buena, mi gente. Estoy aquí en Aguada, Puerto Rico, bebiendo roncaña y medalla, que se joda la vida. Estoy aquí balanceando todo.
I want to see where he's at.
Esto es para ti, Salazar de la Muerte. Esto es roncaña para ti.
Yep.
All right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, half of Extreme Impact Wrestling's tag team champs, half of Generation Championship Wrestling's tag team champs, member of Controversial Inc., the execution himself, man, Salazar de la Muerte. Welcome, bro.
Welcome.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you guys having me. Normally, I don't do these podcasts. Normally, I try to be super serious and not do these podcasts. But you know what? You guys reached out to me in Brava, so I was like, you know what? Like, let's go ahead and do the interview and talk a little bit.
Appreciate it,
man.
Super
serious. We appreciate it, but super serious is not what we do here.
Exactly. Let's dial it back a little bit. Let's dial it back a little bit.
Let's hop right in, man. For the people out there know you, who trained you, where you based out of, how long you been doing this?
So I started in 2017. I started training at Brian Idol School. Very interesting, the story of how I got into wrestling, because I was just living my regular life, just like everyone else. And I was looking at NXT, and I saw someone that I used to rent apartments, and I saw someone who was actually working in NXT. And it was one of the people that lived at the community that I used to manage and whatnot. So then I asked him, it's like, how can you get into wrestling? And he goes, look up for a wrestling school, and he says, what do you have to lose? And then that's all, some random person came out of nowhere and told me that. And then it just kind of, a light bulb kind of flashed. And I said, you know what, why haven't I done this? And I kind of wanted to do this for a while. So when I started looking for schools, and I found a couple one, then I decided on Brian Idol School. That was around 2017. And then after a few years, I decided to go and learn somewhere else as well, because you're always learning in wrestling. So then roughly 2022, 2023, I went to Death Proof Dojo, and that's what I continued to do my training. So now, we go on and off and train different places. But yeah, I started at Brian Idol School, and then from there I went to Death Proof Dojo. I'm pretty sure, Bob, I'll tell you a little bit of that story too.
Yeah. Were you a lifelong fan then?
Yeah, I grew up with wrestling. I grew up with wrestling, Puerto Rican wrestling. I grew up with IWA Puerto Rico. I grew up with WWC, Capital Sports, I grew up with all that, and that was because I lived in Puerto Rico until I was 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
And I used to sneak into the venues in Puerto Rico. I used to sneak into the Pepin Centero. I used to sneak over there, and because I didn't have money to go ahead and see wrestling shows when I was a kid like that. But then later on, 10, 15 years later, I'm actually able to, do a show at the Pepin Centero and a sold out crowd, going for the IWA Puerto Rico tag team titles. So, it kind of came full circle for me. So that's pretty cool.
Where in Puerto Rico are you living?
Bayamon.
Darling.
Yeah.
Over there in the Metropolitana, ¿verdad?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, not the beach life like you, but it was more like the city. Yeah.
So I mean, you're
living the Puerto Rican surfer life, man.
I'm trying, bro. I don't surf yet. I'm gonna start taking lessons here, but I've been busy helping. Yeah, I've been busy helping the bodega owner here in the barrio que yo estoy viviendo ahora. The barrio that I live in now, I've been helping the bodega owner clean up and stuff like that. So I haven't had much time.
Stop by next time I'm in Puyar.
Bro, I got the perfect place for you right here, dude. This is basically a private beach. Just one time I went up the beach, I took naked pictures of my wife. It's so private up here.
Do you take pictures of you for your OnlyFans?
Maybe next time, bro.
Not the feet finder either?
No. I got ugly ass infantry feet, bro. Nobody wants to see my army infantry feet.
Fair enough.
So you in sports and stuff growing up, because you're tall, right? You like how tall are you? What's your stats?
I'm 6'1".
Okay.
6'1".
What's your weight?
So, weight right now, I'm actually slimming down because I used to be in the 260s when I got into wrestling, but I was more bigger, not in the healthier side. I was just more bigger. So I'm leaning out a lot so that I can bulk up. So I'm in the 200s right now. So nothing crazy. So I'm just slimming down a little bit so I can bulk up again, just to doing it the right way.
Right. Good for the heart.
Yep.
Yeah, good for the heart. So what went through that mentality? Because I've always asked people, and I've always been interested by the question of to get into wrestling, because wrestling isn't like wanting to be a doctor and astronaut. Like you got to be crazy as fuck to say, let me go try this. Let me go do this. Go make the leap into going to a school. What was that thought process for you to make that final decision? Just that ballsy move to get into it.
So when I decided to go ahead and give the school a shot, because I was so used to living my normal life, and then going to school and I started training. I took the first bump and I got the wind knocked out of me on my first bump and my first, and then from there on I had to kind of convince myself that this is what I was kind of getting myself into. I was getting into myself a profession that it meant constantly being sore, constantly being hurt, constantly being out of the house, constantly at that. So I had to kind of adapt to that as I was going to the training, because I didn't want to take any detours or anything like that when I actually was ready to wrestle. So I was kind of getting myself ready mentally to all the challenges that were going to go on, because I don't think I mean, the amount of like, not injuries, because thankfully I haven't been injured like that, but I have a lot of like scars and from a lot of matches, and I have no problem with that. I'm used to that, and at this point, that's kind of like a badge of honor to a lot of the guys in the wrestling scene, to have those scars and show for it. Not that we go out there and purposely look to get scars everywhere, but a lot of us have those scars that kind of tell the story of our journey basically in wrestling. So when I got into training and I started getting into it, at first it was more like, okay, this is what I'm getting ready myself, to have more pains, to have more aches, to get out there and potentially not know how I'm gonna get out at the end of the day from the ring, because you never know. You want to be able to get up and then get out the same way, but that's not always the case. So it was more like me mentally getting myself ready along the way. So by the time I started wrestling, I didn't let that stop me, because a lot of people they're their own worst enemy. So they out there, they start wrestling and they already have all these doubts, and they're already stopping themselves because they're limiting themselves, because they don't want to do this, they don't want to do that, they don't want to wrestle this person, they don't want to wrestle this type of match. And you seen the last match that I had with Quevedo, that's a big testament of like when I first started, there was these I guess these doubts and second guessing, which is normal. And then you see a match with me and Quevedo and you realize, man, these guys don't care if they throw it out there and they get hurt and whatever. So it took some time to get comfortable with that. But now it's just we throw a caution in the wind and just do what we gotta do.
Yeah. Yeah,
How
guys.
old are you?
I'm 35.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the second best match that night in IWA, Florida. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm coming out with the Spanish accent.
Yeah.
It was
No,
the
you're
second
good.
best match, followed by Roxy Boricua and La Brava Escobar.
Yep.
That match,
Yeah.
those ladies killed that. They stole the
Yeah.
show that night. But your
That
match,
one.
to open the night, that was fucking killer, dude. You totally wrecked it. It was awesome.
Appreciate that. Yeah, they definitely had a really killer match. I mean, they took it out to the street. I mean, you guys saw that. I mean, they were hitting each other with just about everything they could find, and it didn't stop there. They took it all out to the streets, and they couldn't even finish the match. So that's how intense and crazy their match was. So, and we always have this little friendly bet between us about who's gonna have match of the night, and we actually between us, between all three of us, me, myself, and myself, Brava, and Carlos, and some other wrestlers, we were like, okay, let's see who has the best match of the night. And it was in my head, I was like, it's probably gonna be in between myself or Brava. I don't know why, because it's just something about the people we were going against. We knew what we were gonna get ourselves into. But I said a lot of people say it was either me, it was either Brava. I'm very okay to tip my hat to her and say that she got the match of the night that night, because she really went out there and killed it with Roxy. But I'll take second place. I'll take second place on that. But some
Ladies
people said
first,
it was,
man. Ladies first.
yeah, ladies first. But I think she did great. I mean, her and Roxy killed it, and it's only the beginning. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have plenty more matches. I mean, they have history all the way from Puerto Rico, and they brought that all the way. That's why it was so heated by the time they got to Florida, because Roxy took the belt from her in Puerto Rico, and they've been having 2 or 3 matches already over there. So by the time it got to Florida, you guys saw them already heated, and the rivalry and everything just kind of getting all fired up between them. So that's why when you saw that match, you saw them going all out, because it's been fuming for months.
Yeah. When during that match, go back to IWA Florida's 8th anniversary show. Jumped off the top rope to the outside. You always been comfortable like that? Because I'm scared as fuck as heights, man. So I couldn't imagine being on top like that and just go crashing down into the crowd like that.
So the funny story with that is that
you're not a small dude.
Nah, the person who actually motivated me to do crazy stuff like that and throw myself like that is actually Romeo Quevedo. And it was actually, we go back like 3 years, actually no, 4 years ago. I was like, you know what? I want to throw myself outside. I want to push myself. And he literally told me, he's like, don't be a pussy and just do it. And I was like, all right, cool.
That's good advice.
And then I just did it. And from there on, that part of like just throwing caution in the wind just kind of went out the window. And it was just like, all right, if I got to do something, I'll do it. So when it came down to this match with Quevedo, you know, full circle, now I know how he goes. And I said, you know what? I'm going to have to do those things too. So I got up there on the third rope and I pushed the barricades, you know, and I jumped up and I jumped on him, and then he did the moonsault on me. So, you know, we really went out that match, you know, and it was one of those things where like, okay, I know that if I go to a match like this, I can't just do the same thing I'm doing to other people, you know, because I'm facing a guy who is, you know, bigger than me when it comes to like size. I might be taller than him, but he's bigger than me, and when it comes to size, he can do all the things that he can do. So that makes you pull like tricks out of your hat, you know, that you're not used to doing. Because normally I'm the bigger guy in most matches, because I'm like 6'1", and like normally, you know, all other guys are like 5 something or they're way less than me. So I don't need to do all that stuff. But when you're facing someone that's just as big or bigger than you, you're gonna have to pull some things that you're not used to. So that was the first. The when I threw myself off the third into Quevedo during that match, it was the first time I ever did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any hesitation when you got up there? You're like, fuck it, you're already into it. Might as well. You got to jump at that point.
Once
right?
I was up there, it's
you got to jump.
Once the adrenaline hits me, I'll do everything. I won't even care. So once I knew that that's what I needed to do, once I started getting up, there was no doubt, there was no hesitation. I knew I was supposed to do that, so I got up and did it.
Yeah.
I was gonna suffer the consequences later. I always tell myself that I'll suffer the consequences later.
And that's the point. As soon as you get up there, man, you can't climb down. Once you're already up there, it's like, fuck it. What are you going to do? Can't turn around.
Exactly. If you turn around, you're going to lose everything that you worked for the whole match. And everyone's going to be like, you wimp, you know?
Pussy.
You pussy. And I'm like, Quevedo again? You know?
Well, Wiso always calls me a pussy, and I always tell him I am what I eat.
There you go. That's a fair assessment. I'm going to write that one down.
Who'd you break in as? You had an embarrassing name when you first broke in?
So my name when I first broke in was just Salazar.
Okay.
And I didn't have
your birth name.
No, that's not my real name. So that's I wanted to make sure that I use a name that kind of identified myself in the ring, and identify what I do. And I felt like Salazar was a name that kind of goes hand in hand with the way that I present myself in the ring. You know, the menacing / methodical-ish way where I work. If I were to call, my name is not John, but if I was going to be John the Executioner, nobody would care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So John, at least Jose, right? Or Juan.
Exactly.
Jose, John.
Juan Martinez the Executioner doesn't sound that good. So that's why, you know, I chose Salazar, and then as I was finding myself, you know, I added the Executioner. Then it became the modern day Executioner, because I feel that, you know, just the Executioner alone is very medieval-ish, you know, like or medieval during that time. So I wanted to do something that kind of spoke something that was more now, and I can interpret it better to people. So like that's why I changed, and I added the De La Muerte, just to add a little bit more depth into the name. So now it's Salazar De La Muerte.
Yeah, it's a dope ass name, and it sticks out for sure.
Yeah, totally killer. Yeah. Obviously, it's in the name, La Muerte.
There you go.
People haven't seen you out there. What would be like a match you tell them to go check out right now? A couple matches.
Ooh, there's a few. So one that is a good one when it comes to tag, that a good one that stands out is I had a match at Prodiversary, which is a POW, which I just had a show last weekend, and I wrestled The Gifted. But the one match that I want people to check out is the tables, ladders, and chairs match that I had at POW, and it was Controversial Inc. versus The Gifted versus Beer Cheese. So that's one good tables, ladders, and chairs match that you can check out. Once the Quevedo match comes out, I know you guys have it on your page too, so that's a place that they can check it out. But I know IWA Florida is going to be releasing it too. So once they release it, definitely check that one out because that's one that definitely was a good match.
Yep.
And then another one that I would say was a good one. I had a ladder match with Mike Orlando and POW as well. So that's another one. POW, I have a lot of good matches in POW that, people just go to prideofwrestling.com and go to their YouTube. I mean, a lot of the matches there are really good. Not just mine, but Brava's and Carlos and Controversial Inc. and everyone. That's a really good place that they can see matches. And I just had one with the Metro Brothers not too long ago at GCW. That's how we won the GCW tag team title. So they can check that out on their website too. So that's good.
You need to get down to that Pride of Wrestling. They always put on good shows down there.
Yeah. They've been running for roughly about 5 years now. And ever since like they came back from COVID, it's like they figured everything out. And it's just been one good show after another. We just had Mick Foley last weekend. And it was a sold out show to the point that they had to close tickets the day before and they have to deny people at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, dude. Big thanks for them.
Where have you traveled to? You only wrestle in Florida right now, or you've been going around other places?
Florida, New York, Tennessee, Georgia, all over Florida, Colombia, Puerto Rico. I'm doing Dominican Republic this weekend, actually. Myself, Controversial Inc., and Brava, we're all going to Dominican Republic.
Gotta be careful with the Dominicans out there, man. You can't be trusting them.
Yeah.
And the Puerto Rican, there's that beef between Dominican and Puerto Rican. ¿Te veo por ahí, man?
That's true. I just we always hang out in groups, so it's gonna be fine, because when we're in Colombia, we're in groups, that's the one thing that people need to think about when they go to places that they don't know. They need to go in groups. They can't be walking around by themselves and thinking that everything's gonna be okay because you're a target. If you go somewhere, it's better to go toward a group because you're not gonna be as much of a target if you got a group of 7.
Yeah, for sure. I just came back from Colombia last weekend and same big group. That way, there's no walk around by yourself.
Yeah, nobody's gonna mess with you guys when you got a group of 7.
Yeah.
But if it's just you walking alone in the streets of, Bogota or Santo Domingo or something like that, it's a different story,
Yeah, that's anywhere though. You're going to the wrong place anywhere by yourself, man.
That's anywhere. So
it's a wrap
it's about,
for you.
especially if you go somewhere that you've never been to before, you got to be smart.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys, that I'm interrupting.
Going and everything, you know what I'm saying?
Ya tú sabes cómo es la cosa aquí.
Yeah.
What do you think's been your biggest moment so far?
Well, I recently had a couple matches with Savio Vega and Miguel Perez. I had 2 matches with them in Puerto Rico, in which one of them we lost the IWA Florida tag team titles, but when they came back to IWA Florida, we regained those titles from them. So that was good. I had 3 matches from them. And it's one of those things. It's funny because those are the type of people. And when I used to sneak into the Pepin Centero, when I was 12, 13, 14 years old, that's the people that I used to see wrestle. Savio Vega, Miguel Perez, Shane the Glamour Boy, and Ricky Banderas and Rey Gonzalez and all those people, and you know all about it, man. All those people from Puerto Rico, and when I came to IWA Puerto Rico, I got to work with most of them. And most
what about
recently,
Invader?
El Invader, I didn't work as in a match with him, but I did help kind of cause some interference when he was a special referee, and it was a match between Carlito Caribbean Cool and Ricky Banderas. So myself and Carlos, we distracted Invader. I mean, Invader got to punch me, but whatever. We don't talk about that part. No, but let's just say
he didn't bring out that knife.
It wasn't a hard punch though, so I'm okay.
Shout out to Brother Brody. Rest in peace, bro.
Oh yeah, well. Luckily, I'm not him. Luckily, I'm not. Don't worry, I'm not in any locker rooms waiting for him. No, but yeah, it was we distracted them and we helped Ricky Banderas get the win, so it kind of worked out, So I'm pretty sure Invader's out there mad and cursing us out.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Is Puerto Rico your favorite place to work so far, or what's been of all the places, all the states? What's your favorite crowd?
Puerto Rico's always cool, man, because the crowd there is they live it. They really live it. We did a show in Isabela, which is like, that's in the middle of like El Campo, you know what I'm saying? And when you go there, the fans are just much different than the fans that you get in like a San Juan or like a Bayamon or something like that. They really, really, really get into it. I mean, to the point that the last 2 shows that we worked there, they had to take us from the back. They wouldn't let us go out from the front because there
Well,
were
La
people
Brava was
waiting for
saying
us.
that.
Yep, they had five women, 5 girls who were waiting for Brava outside. They wanted to jump her. Yeah, yeah, so we had to go outside. So it was 2 times in a row that we had to do that. So I like Puerto Rico. And then one time when Bravo faced Roxy, and that was 2, 3 years ago, um, we chased her out into the crowd. She jumped the crowd, and as soon as we started to like approach her, there was a wall of fans that got in front of her, and they started taking their belts out and everything like that. They were saying, "Mauricio, entra pa' adentro, come on." And then us, in the moment I started taking my belt off and I'm saying, "Pero tú sal pa' acá entonces." And then, I mean, it became like the security got really concerned and they were like, "No, stop doing that, guys." And I was like, "No, no, no." So we just kept going and going and going to the point where security had to kind of pull us in the back. I was like, "All right, guys, that's enough," And
Yeah.
they're riled up. So that was another incident. They were like, these guys, the ones that you were riling up, they're waiting for you guys. So you guys might want to go through the back. And I was like,
Yeah.
So that's always good. Whenever that happens,
Yeah.
that means that you did
You
what you
did,
had to do.
yeah, did your job right.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. But I like Puerto Rico the most because it's like that. It's the people really get riled up. Here in the United States, they do get like that, but they want to have fun at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They just
Well,
want
it's
to have
home
fun.
too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Puerto Rico's home, so it's always good to be in front of the home crowd, right?
Oh yeah, and always is the festivities afterwards that make the trip even worth more. To be able to go out
Oh hell
afterwards and go
yeah,
to La Placita, or to be able to go to like downtown San Juan and spend the whole day there, or to
Yeah.
go somewhere like one of the beaches in Dorado, My Chiquita. I don't know, all the places I'm
bro!
talking
You
about.
gotta come to Aguada to my beach
I
over
gotta come.
here.
I haven't been to
Aguada.
Aguada in a very long time.
Ah, just slipping life on here, dude. You gotta come
I know.
through. I got
Next
the
next time
perfect
I go to Puerto
bodega to
Rico, I'm
come
gonna
for
hit
you.
you up.
Hey man, I got you, bro. I got a perfect place for you to stay. To stay here with a doctor that I know here. That's got a beautiful resort right here, right by the beach. $75 a night, dude. You can't beat it.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's the thing with Puerto Rico. You look around, you can still find good spots. It still hasn't been completely, colonized.
Americanized,
Americanized.
colonized. There you
Colonized,
go.
yeah.
Colonized.
It's kind of
Let's
colonized.
get
It's not
real here,
completely.
guys.
Do you have any crazy fan interactions? Anyone try to stab you or anything like that?
Not yet, but that can always happen.
Yeah.
Any panties thrown in the ring?
No, no panties yet. I just don't know if that will happen. We'll just know. We'll just have to find out one day. But as far as like, I do have a funny story. I'm not sure if Bravo told you this, but this is one that's always funny. We did a show in Georgia, and it was a Lucha show. You know how like the Lucha fans, they're just as bad as the Puerto Rican fans. They're loud, they're obnoxious, they like to drink a lot. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Puerto Rican fans, we like to have fun.
Mexicans, yo, you can't mess with them.
Exactly. They're Puerto Rican fans, Mexican fans. They're in it. So we had a show, it was a Lucha show, and we came in and we're the anti-Mexico people. You know what I'm saying? We're the Puerto Ricans that hated Mexico, and every Mexican that wanted there and wrestle us, we took the opportunity to throw shade at the country and do what we needed to do. But Brava earlier that day was managing someone else, and that was 4 years ago, and this lady smacked her upside the head twice as she was managing
Damn.
her. She was walking by, and she's like, "Okay, okay." Then at the end of the show, she throws a bucket of beer at her.
Hmm.
So then she gets up in the ring and she looks at me. She's like, "This bitch just threw a bucket of beer at me."
That's alcohol abuse, man. What
Yeah,
the
and
hell?
I told her, I said, "Throw one back."
Yeah.
There you
So she
go.
rolled out of the ring. She didn't even think twice. She just needed affirmation on it because
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
convinced herself in her head that she wanted to do that. So I said, then throw it back to her. So she got down, found it, and just swung it at her.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
So
think that
yeah.
La Brava, after watching her this past weekend, that she messed up a vein in her finger and this and whatever,
Yeah.
she might be one of the toughest female wrestlers I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Let alone had a conversation with. So she's awesome.
Yeah. That's kind of like what everyone says basically. Because I mean, she's not afraid to wrestle guys, wrestle girls. get busted up, bleed, and all that. She'll be like first one to be like, hell yeah, I'm up for it, you know. Which is not the case for a lot of girls. Not to say that there are a lot of girls there that are like that, and I seen them wrestle, but there's only a small circle that are willing to take it as far as Brava does. Doesn't mean take away from them. It's just she's willing to just kind of risk her body and put herself out there a little bit more. That's all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, she's willing to scar her pretty face for our entertainment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's willing to do that? Me and Wiso ain't willing to do anything to our bodies for
Yeah.
entertainment. With that being said, we want to thank you for putting your life and your health and safety on the line for our entertainment.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
And it's your fault. You created La Brava basically, right? Because she told us a story how she came up to you and was like, wanted to talk, wanted to hang out, and you're like, I ain't fucking with you unless you're ready to take this thing seriously. And said that was the moment like it clicked for her.
Yeah, because it was funny because she came to me because I visited the dojo that she was part of before Brian Idol, and I came in there because I was good friends with a few of the wrestlers there, and I just wanted to be there and just help out and just roll around with them. And that's when I officially like met Brava more than just a regular conversation at a show or something like that. Because other than that, it was just she was announcing a show. This was pre like wrestling for her. Like she didn't really have many matches or anything. She was announcing, and then I had maybe a couple conversations with her while she was announcing, like to help me introduce me properly and all that. But I never really talked to her. So when I went to this school and I saw her do a roll, which is what you do to kind of the basics of wrestling, I literally told her, I looked at her, I said, "What the fuck is that? Do it again." And she got so mad at me. And that was my first real interaction with Bravo. And then later on, we started talking. And we became a little bit close as friends. And she was telling me, "Hey, unfortunately, I want to be able to get better at wrestling, and I really don't have the means. Can you help me trying to figure out?" So I sat down with her and we started writing down um, like finances and stuff. And then she looks at me. She's like, "I don't think I'll be able to afford it." And I closed. It was literally a notebook that we had that we were writing the notes and putting everything down. I closed the notebook, right? I give it to her and I said, once you're serious, give me a call because right now you're not serious. And the next day, she called me and she said, "Let's do it."
Oh yeah.
So that's all it took, that's all it took, and that's kind of how I am. I'm hard on people, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Did you have someone that not held your hand? That's a terrible way to say this, but that like, were you ever on the fence and then someone was like, "Yo, when you get your shit together, come and join us for real"?
So I didn't have that, but I did have a. I'm gonna throw you in the sharks and you better swim. When I got to partner with Carlos, I was put in a situation where that meant that I was doing shows already 6 months in with Shane the Glamour Boy, doing things with other wrestlers from Puerto Rico. I was already traveling. So I was from the get go put in a situation where it was a sink or swim situation. So I had no choice but to like overcome all these challenges. I couldn't be like, well, I can't do that. Well, I can't do this. So it was one situation after another with no really room to breathe in between. So I just took it all that and said, I either got to do it or I'm not up for this.
Yeah.
So it wasn't so much of like someone saying, "Hey, you need to get your shit together." It's more of like my path telling me, you either get your shit together as you're going through this, or you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how that separates everyone, the weak from the strong, man. Situations like that. You put to the test, you're able to pass those tests.
Yep.
How's
I guess they probably did they feel like they put you through the ringer because you're a big dude, you know what I mean? They're like, you know what, this guy, he's massive. He's 6 foot.
Yes.
You said 6'4"?
At first there were people that wanted to test how like aggressive I really was, or if I really was who I was putting out there to be, and a lot of them, because I remember, and I'll go back to Quevedo because he told me something a long time ago when I first started in the business. He told me, "You're a human being before you're a wrestler." And that's one thing that stuck with me. So from the get-go, I didn't take disrespect very well. And that doesn't mean that I was the loud mouth or anything like that. I'm just the type of person that if you disrespect me, I'm gonna address you. You know, I don't care if you're 5 years in the business, 10 years in the business, 15 years in the business. You know, when you're a man talking to another man, you know, disrespect is disrespect.
Yeah.
So that kind of helped me being able to overcome a lot of these people along the way that just because they have a lot more years to you than you, they can think they can, you know, abuse of you, or they think they can, you know, get a little bit more, try to teach you a lesson in the ring, or they can try to, you know, say stuff about your name and stuff like that. So I've been good at trying to maneuver that way, because in the beginning, that's what people try to do. They try to test you. They try to
Yeah.
see how tough you are, and you got to be able to show them that, hey, you know, you can't play that with me.
That's in any walk of life, man. Everyone's gonna try you at first.
Yeah, but
Soon as you,
some people think that, I mean, wrestling is a completely different world, you know,
yeah,
and different rules apply. But at the end of the day, you know, there's certain things that don't change, you know, and even though everything is different, the whole way that wrestling works and the whole way of going around and becoming successful is way different than, you know, when I was working while I was working. You know, it's a whole different way of doing things.
yeah,
But at the same time, at the end of the day, you know, if somebody talks to you a certain way, doesn't matter if you're in wrestling, if it doesn't matter if you're working retail, it doesn't matter if you're a backup singer, I don't care what it is. You know, I don't think anyone should be able to take disrespect like that from anyone.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How'd you and Carlos link up? Was it like by accident or?
So the way that me and Carlos ended up together was, I was doing a tryout for IW Florida. So I was doing the tryout to IW Florida, and Savio Vega was there. And Savio Vega saw me train and saw what I could do. And then afterwards, we had a dinner. And Savio Vega looks at me and looks at Carlos and says, "You guys should be a team." And we look at each other, and you know, why would we ever second guess what Savio Vega's saying? You know,
Yeah,
that's what we said at the time.
yeah,
We say, you know,
Facts.
we got Savio Vega telling us that we would make a good group together. So we said, you know what, let's go ahead and roll with it. And so then later on, we added Brava because as an act. That one was accidental. That was accidental, but in a very good way. Because she was supposed to have a match at one of the shows for Brian Idol. The girl didn't show up. Brian Idol comes to us, and in his New York accent goes, "You want this fucking broad in your fucking match?" And we go, "Sure, yeah, go ahead and add her." So we have the match, and that match we have instant chemistry, and it was just like we've been teaming for years. And it was like, okay, so now we got dos boricua, una colombiana. Makes sense,
yeah.
you know? It
Colombians
makes
are good
sense.
people, man. They're good people. Colombians and Puerto Ricans get along very
Exactly. They get
well.
along. They get along. So it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Let's get into some business for you. POW, have a nice day. You and La Brava, with the help of Romeo Quevedo, finally took out the gifted. How'd you guys link up with Romeo? Just mutual respect from just the battles together?
Yeah, so me and Quevedo have a lot of history. And Quevedo and Controversial Inc. have a lot of history. So anyone else other than Controversial Inc. that knows me is Quevedo. Because Quevedo at one point was somewhat of a member of Controversial Inc. Not a long term member, but he was somewhat of a member for a period of time, and then he went off and did his thing. We went off and did our thing, but it was always a, hey, we ever needed you, you always be available type of thing, you know, because it never ended in any type of bad way or anything like that. So throughout the years, we would have matches. Throughout the years, we will occasionally tag here and there. So Quevedo is always been the person that I can count on aside from the group. You know, when it comes to that, there's only a few people that I can tag with. You know, there was only one other person that I tagged with that I don't, that at one point did cover for Carlos, and that was Papi Chulo. But Papi Chulo was a rat and ended up beating up La Brava. So I got some things pending with him. So definitely not the type of guy I want in my team, a rat like that. So Quevedo, I basically hit him up and I told him what was going on, that I needed him to come through, and he said yeah, you know, and I think there might be a couple other dates that we might see Quevedo, but I'm not gonna reveal all of that. So that's a very interesting dynamic that people haven't seen in a very long time. And now that I'm a lot more seasoned than when it first started, I mean, the matches. I don't know if any of you guys were there for POW.
Nah, what was
No.
that? I saw the match though, or saw clips of it.
Yeah, the match was something else. I mean, we definitely put, I would say, not an end to the gift because the gift is gonna be there most likely next year or whatnot. But we definitely sealed the deal on who the better faction is, and sealed the deal on if Controversial Inc. is there, Gifted can't. Gifted can't be number one. They can be number two. They can be right here. But we'll always be above them. And that's what we proved.
They just proved it
Nice.
all to everybody.
Yep.
So who's next for you guys in POW then? You guys set on somebody else? Because who's the champs there? Beer Cheese?
Beer cheese. So I have a guaranteed title opportunity that I won a few months ago, and that opportunity gets me a right at any title. Any title. And I already had the POW championship, which is the main title over there. So I've been setting my sights on the tag team championship. Most likely, I might want to cash it in for the first show of next year. It's still in the talks. I'm still trying to figure out with Bravo, Quevedo, and all that. But I think what's going to happen is I'm going to want to go for those title in February, which is February 8th is the next show for POW.
Is that like a WWE Money in the Bank situation that you could come in after they get their ass beat or anything?
Not the opportunity that I won. Not the opportunity that I won. The opportunity that I won is just it's a number one contendership that I can just kind of cash in as far as like I want to use it for this next show. I can't cash it in. We do have an open contract at POW that people can use it as far as like a cash in type of situation. But when it comes to mine opportunity is one of those that I have to kind of tell people ahead of time. Unfortunately, I mean, if I was able to just cash it in, I would have been tag team champion already.
That's some real man shit, bro.
Yeah. But I like the fact that I'm gonna give them a warning,
Yeah. No excuses for them when they lose it back to you.
Exactly. They can get ready for their impending doom,
Yeah, they know the ass whooping's coming.
Exactly.
They've had enough of Beer Cheese anyway. It's pulling out that American cheese from his tights.
I don't even know how that cheese fits in their tights anymore. I mean, I feel like they're eating them instead of giving them away.
American cheese is mostly plastic too.
Yeah.
That's how it doesn't melt.
That's probably why he can't digest it, because there's all the plastic in it.
Yeah.
So speaking of Dominican Republic, man, this Saturday, November 17th, you're going down for Dominicans Wrestling Entertainment, Impacto Mania, Controversial Inc. versus Eclipse and Adonis versus Rico de la Vega and the Rat you're talking about, Papi Chulo. Yep. That's for the tag team championships down there?
So as far as I know, we're going for the DWE tag team titles. All right. So I don't know, because Papi Chulo's going to be there, and I feel like I'm going to cross paths with him, and I'm going to want to smack him in the face, which almost happened at POW because we had a little heated kind of situation when we were at the merch tables, because even though that happened at IWF Florida, I'm not going to forget about what happened because I'm at POW.
Yeah.
So every time I see him, is what we say, it's on site with Papi Chulo. So I don't know if I see him, if I'm gonna lose it and I'm just gonna beat the shit out of him, or if we're gonna wait for the match. So that's where it's at right now. But myself and Carlos are gonna go over there and go for the DWE tag team titles, and then Brava's gonna go against Natalia for the vacant DWE women's title.
So that's inside of a cage, right? 6-man tag inside of a cage.
Well, nobody's telling me something about the cage, but I don't care. If they put me in the cage, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, sorry. That's the other one. Who's the champions? Eclipse and Adonis, right?
Yeah.
Okay. First time in DR, or you've been there before?
First time.
Okay. Would you expect the same as like the Puerto Rican fans? Is craziness or?
I believe so. I believe we're gonna get a very, very, very loud crowd. Crowd that's gonna get very involved, and a crowd that's gonna let you know how they feel. And it's not gonna be just a lighthearted fan base. It's gonna be another situation like a Puerto Rico, or like or like when we did that Lucia show. Anything could happen. Anything could happen.
So Eclipse and Adonis are the hometown guys?
Yep.
Oh, so yeah, they're definitely be throwing batteries at your guys' heads then.
Yeah. So I mean, the Puerto Ricans gonna go there, beat up the Dominicans. I'm sure that they ain't gonna like that.
Well, because Papi Chulo and Rico are both Puerto Rican too, right?
Yeah, but they're not gonna win. Come on.
Dominican fans will be hating on you guys.
Yeah. Well, Ginger makes a better Papi Chulo than Papi Chulo. Look at him.
I was thinking,
Not the
it's
first,
really interesting.
not the first person to say that, right?
No, but when I saw Papi Chulo the other day for the first time in person, I was like, man, this guy's way better looking than he is in the pictures. And I'm straight enough to say that. I'm very secure in my sexuality. Like, man, this is a good looking dude. You know what I mean? But all
It looks like he
Boricuas
can
are
be your
good
cousin.
looking.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing I don't like right now. So I look at you, I can think of him. You know?
Yeah, they
I'm
do look like
sorry,
they could be
dude. I'm
related.
sorry that you're coming up against them.
Let's keep rolling. November 29th, Brooksville, Florida. GCW's Black Friday. You guys defending those tag team titles there?
Yes. So
Metro Brothers?
Controversial Inc. is going to defend it against Metros, which is the
Okay.
people that we beat to become the new GCW tag team champions. So the Metros, they used to be aligned with Jeremy Gomez. But the Metros are not the Metros from before. I'll say it here on camera because I've said it to their face. And I said it on the videos that I do promoting GCW. They've lost their touch. They're not the Metro Brothers that a few years ago used to be the one team that used to run everything. They got lazy. They got a couple AEW Dark opportunities. So I'm pretty sure they're at home eating their popcorn and watching their AEW Dark matches, thinking about the good times that they had in AEW Dark during COVID. That they're not as focused about their matches that they're having. You don't see them wrestling as much lately. I don't know if it's because they lost their motivation. I don't know if it's because they think that maybe they can't do it anymore. But when we were at the last GCW, they found out the hard way that those actions, the lack of action, has consequences too. Because of their lack of action, Jeremy Gomez said, "You know what? I don't want to do business with you guys anymore." So he jumped ship from the Metro Brothers to Controversial Inc. side. So now us, Controversial Inc., August Artois, Brava, Jeremy Gomez, we're the international gatekeepers. And why we're the international gatekeepers? Because we travel all over the world. And on top of that, we get to decide who get to come in and not to these companies.
Hold on. Fuck August Artois.
I'll prove that.
He just says fuck everything to everything. So I got to say that for him.
There's some days,
Totally
there's some days
him,
that I feel like saying fuck August Artois. You're not the only one.
I say that with all love and support for the man.
Yeah. You guys got all the gold in GCW as well.
Yep.
You
straight
cleaned
up.
up. You cleaned up at GCW's 25.
Yeah, it's gonna be us against the Metros. I'm not sure. So what they're trying to do is they don't want Yuka there. They want to even the field, the Metros. I don't know. So it's gonna be on a winery at Brooksville, which means that most likely the Metros are gonna show up drunk. I don't know. They're probably gonna show up drunk. I
also will show up drunk.
Yeah, they're gonna show up drunk. They're gonna show up depressed. They're gonna show up with anxiety. They're gonna show up to a match thinking, "Oh, not only did I get embarrassed last time, but when I show up here, I'm gonna get embarrassed again, and then I'm gonna have to go home and watch my AEW Dark match again." Because that's the only match that's worthwhile watching. Because every match I have with Controversial Inc., they embarrass us.
No one watches AEW anyway.
Exactly. Well, that's why we went there.
Yeah, a lot of bad blood on that card. Going to be because even LaBravo and Lexi Gomez was a no DQ or whatever match. They're going to tear each other apart too. Yeah.
I want to see them. I want to see if they're going to be wrestling all over in the fields. We'll see.
Yeah.
When
they feel where they go ahead and step on the grapes to make the wine, we'll see.
So Salazar saying keep the rose away from the Metro Brothers. That's why they have no excuse coming into the match.
100%. 100%. I'm gonna make sure if I see him at the bar, I'll tell the ref or something. I'm like, get him out of the bar, because I don't want no excuses.
Yeah. All right. December 14th, Extreme Impact Wrestling's Chaos in a Cage, Panama City. You defended the tag team titles against a man who you guys disrespect, ripping his mask off, Ray Fury, and his partner, Lucha Locura. You guys looking to embarrass him some more?
Yes. So what's going to happen in this match is going to be a mask versus titles match. And it's going to be in a steel cage. So we've had like 3 matches already with them. And every single match, we embarrass them. It seems to be a trend. It seems to be a trend with all these tag teams that come and they want to claim like they're the best. They want to claim that, no other team can beat them. And then we just walk in and then we make an example out of them. And then we go to the next place 4 hours away and make a sample out of their tag team too. And then we go to Puerto Rico and make a sample. And then they still want to say that these tag teams are the best tag teams when all you need is to look at the proof. All you need to do is look at the results. Because a lot of people want to call themselves the best, but they don't have the results to show it. You know, okay, cool. You can do a couple flips, but can you win a match?
Would you ever put your beard on the line?
No.
Why, you that much of a pussy? You're gonna put that beard on? You don't got confidence in yourself, dude?
Well,
How
we'll
many
see
years?
what the other person. I'll say this. Like, if Papi Chulo were to put his hair on the line, then maybe. You know what I'm saying? It has to be worthwhile. You know, I'm not gonna put it against someone like Lowen Cruz who barely has hair to begin with.
How long you been growing that beard out, man? Because that's a training and practice, a practice in patience. Excuse me.
It's about 2 years now.
That's it. All that.
Yeah, that's
beard
what I
in
say.
2
Damn,
years,
that's
man.
it.
It grows pretty quick, so it grows down and then grows in volume.
Okay.
Yeah. But roughly
That's
about
the
2 years,
Spaniard
it
in
got
you.
me to like here, and then everything else is just
Damn, 2 years.
yeah.
You think Carly will let me?
Nah, man, because it tickles her cooch when you eat him.
Brother.
He's been drinking all day. What make you got Yuka on your side? What makes a good manager? Because a lot of people just think a man just comes out and just walks around the ring, just stands there during the match.
Awareness. So that's the main thing with a manager. The manager needs to be aware at all times. A manager just doesn't sit down and scream at the crowd. The manager needs to know when it's time to get involved. The manager needs to know when it's time to calm down and not let the wrestlers do their thing. The manager needs to know when it's time for him to start rallying up the people. You know, it's a lot more facets if you want a good manager. You know, like if you saw the clip where Brava kicked Julie at POW, she just released that clip. She kicked her, and as soon as she stopped, that's when Yuka started getting loud and started screaming at people. You know, he wasn't doing that when Brava was kicking her because all eyes were on Brava.
Yeah.
He did it after the fact. So that's what I'm saying. Awareness of when to do things, awareness on when to get involved, awareness to not take the spotlight for the to the wrestler, and awareness of where you know when it's time for you to have your spotlight. So Yuka's really good as a manager because he's become very aware, very aware. He's always there when we need him.
Also got that giant stick that he walks around with.
That's right. He just started bringing that out like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and he has it in his trunk. Every single time I see him, he has that thing that says Yuka really big. It's like that 2x4 with the white tape on it. He got that 2x4 with the white tape says Yuka really big, and every time I see his trunk, he has it. So he's ready to go. He's ready to go. Anyone in the ring or in the street.
You coming at the PR anytime soon?
So as far as right now, possibly in December. I'm
when
not
in December,
sure.
possibly. Got a date?
Possibly the third week, but I'm not sure because they're finalizing their dates.
Do you
I think
know
it's
in what
Isabella
city?
again.
Isabella. Okay, that's right down here, right where I'm at. Isabella's like a half hour up the road.
Oh
I
well,
only know that because
if
that's
I
where the
go over there,
Walmart
I'll
is.
hit you up for sure.
Hell yeah, dude, I'll be there.
Yeah,
if I'm
I'll
here.
hit you up for sure. Yeah.
I got a cruise in the middle of December, so I might not be here.
Oh, okay.
This guy
I
living
think it's
a
like the
retired life.
22nd, around the 22nd, I think. Of December.
I might be here for that. Yeah, I should
All right,
totally be here for that.
I'll let you know for sure.
Yeah, I'll go too.
Totally.
Fuck my kids in Christmas. They'll understand.
Yeah, fuck them kids. Who cares about them?
Anybody want to talk shit or call out?
I mean, we pretty much called out everyone. I mean, I take every opportunity I can to call Papi Chulo a fucking rat. That's what he is. But that's pretty much it. I mean, every time we talked about all the dates that we have for the rest of the year. Check out Proud of Wrestling. They have a website, proudofwrestling.com. They just did their last show with Mick Foley. They're gonna start again on February 8th. You know, it's one of the best shows all over Florida. Also GCW. GCW got solid guys from top to bottom. You know, check out GCW. It's going to be Friday, November 29th, Brooksville. It's at a winery. So go check it out. You know, if you want to drink, if you want to go ahead and see some wrestling, there you go. Extra on the drinking. And then at Panama City, That's the medalla. Yeah, you can't go wrong with medalla. XIW, that's going to be December 14th. That's in Panama City. And then over there, if you want to see a steel cage match, you can see us in a steel cage match there. But that's pretty much the dates that we have confirmed for the rest of the year. We do have some 2 or 3 pending dates. So once we know those dates, we'll go ahead and add them to the calendar.
No, I'll push it off there
Right.
for it. Go ahead now. Where can everybody find you at then? Plug your shit.
You can go ahead and find me at Salazar de la Muerte in Facebook, Salazar Executioner on Instagram, Salazar Executioner on YouTube, and I don't know what the hell you can find me on Twitter because I don't really use it that much. Just type up Salazar and hopefully you can find me.
Fuck Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Go ahead and Ginger, get your shit in so you go back to drinking.
Well, he never went back. He kept drinking.
He kept drinking throughout the whole thing. You're right, actually.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
So if you care to follow and like and subscribe to your boy Ginger Spice, that's Ginger _ Spice. You change that E to a 3, and that'll be me. And I'm here to fucking have a good time, baby.
There you go.
New beach pics coming out on his OnlyFans coming out soon. I'll let everybody know when that comes out so everyone can check that out. That
I do not have an
dude.
OnlyFans.
Fee Finder. Find him on Fee Finder.
Fee Finder. That wrestling dude, DOWD. Like, subscribe. Salazar, man. Appreciate it again. Thanks for coming on. Letting your hair down, letting everybody see who you. You guys have a good night. Thank you again.
You too. Take care, man.
Peace.